Hi and welcome to Darvanalee Design Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed and today we are going to be making this gorgeous bandana, quick and simple, super beginner friendly. So let's get started. Okay, so there are a few things that you're going to need for today's little tutorial. It is for the quick and easy bandana. Basically, you're going to need some fabric. Now, I cut straight off the bolt, so this was the width of the fabric, and I cut 21.5 inches, 22 inches, mainly because I needed to get the fabric all lined up, and so it wasn't on an angle or anything like that. It really doesn't matter, but I'm making this for my daughter, and so I know that she likes it to be just so. So basically what you're going to do is, as I said, you're going to cut your fabric about 22 inches off the width of the fabric, and then from that you're actually going to be able to get 2 bandanas out of that. So basically, once you've cut that fabric, you're then going to cut your fabric down to size, and we'll cover that in just a moment. The other things you're going to need some coordinating thread. You're going to need some thread snips. You're also going to need some Roxanne basic glue or pins if you don't have it, and a rotary cutter, some quilting rulers, an iron and an ironing pad, and a working sewing machine. A 1/4 inch foot is also advisable as well, but not necessary. You can get away with just using your regular foot on that. All right, so the first thing we need to do is move this all out of the way, and then what we're going to do is you're going to take your fabric and you're going to just leave it folded together, and you're just going to trim it up, and you're going to trim it up to the size of 20 inches square. So you can see here I have my fabric all cut and ready to go, mainly because I've got everything in the way and I had to do it before I got on camera. As you can see, I don't have a lot of space for the this particular size. Okay, so it is actually 20 inches by 20 inches. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we are going to flip our fabric over, grab our ironing pad, and we're going to grab our basted glue and also our iron. Just move that ruler out of the way. Okay, I've got my iron there, and starting at any side, it doesn't matter which side you start at, we are going to turn this under. Now, anybody that's followed me for a while know that I love the basted glue because it makes it easy. One, I don't have to use pins, so I'm not going to get stuck with pins, and two, it just makes it super easy to move your projects around. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to fold that under. And I just eyeball it. It's about 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit less. And I've just started that crease, so now basically I have got something to work from. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a dot of glue, not a lot, just a little dollop of glue along that, roll that back down again, and then just hit that with the iron. And what that will do is that will just hold it in place. I don't have my iron super hot either. And again, you can also run a little bead of glue along, but not really necessary. And then I just fold that over and press as I go. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Okay, so we've done that. We've gone all the way around, so you can see here that my corners are folding down nicely. If you've got some spots that are still sticking up, that's okay, because we're about to fold it down again. So all you're going to do is exactly what we just did. We're going to fold that down, but this time when you come to your corners, you just want to make sure that they're lining up and they're a little bit neater. Okay, you shouldn't have had any problem anyway. It should have lined up. As long as your piece of fabric is nice and square, you should be right to go. So basically all you need to do is just fold that down, and you can see there that's about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to use the glue again, and that's going to hold it in place. So I just put a little dollop, and this time I like to make sure that I get a dollop in that corner, okay, and make sure that I've got enough there to hold it down, because then we're going to take it to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch it in place. Again, you don't need a lot of this glue, just a little bit of a bead or a little couple of dots is enough. It's just to hold it in place, because it's going to get stitched down anyway. And when you wash the bandana, basically that glue will wash away. It won't gum up your machine or anything like that. And you can find this glue on our website. If it's out of stock, it'll say it's out of stock, or it won't be there. If I have problems getting it from our supplier with all the things that are happening around the world with productivity and everything, things are a little bit slow to get back to stock. So just check back regularly, and I'm sure you will see it at some stage. Now when we come up to the corner, don't forget we want that corner to lay nice and flat, so we're going to roll that over, and we're going to put a dollop of glue there to hold that corner in place. And I like to just hold the iron there a little bit longer, just to make sure that that is nice and secure. So I can now comfortably continue to do that all the way around. Okay, so when you come around to that first corner that you started, it's going to be a little bit bulky, which you would have noticed on the other corners anyway. So what you're going to do is you are just going to put a little bit of glue in there, okay, and you're going to just fold that over and just let it lay where it wants to lay. Okay, you can see there that that is actually coming together quite nicely, and once I hit that with the iron, we'll be good to head over to the sewing machine and actually sew this down. And as I said, on the corners I like to just hold the heat there a little bit longer and just put a little bit of extra glue in there, and then I know I can safely move it over to the sewing machine. So you can see there that it's all done, and we can now head over and sew this down. So you can see here that I have my corner, and this is where I'm going to start. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that underneath my 1/4 inch foot, and I'm just going to place my presser foot down. I'm going to put the needle in the down position. You may have to hand crank it as well, and it's a really good idea to have a brand new needle in, because these little corners are just a little bit bulky. And all we're going to do is we're just going to top stitch this down. So I've put my stitch length to about a 3.5 millimeter. That is my favorite length for top stitching. It just gives me a nice straight stitch. And then all I'm going to do is I am not going to back stitch at the start. I'm going to do that at the end when I come back to that corner. I'm going to hold on to my thread, and then I'm just going to start stitching. And remaining in that 1/4 inch seam allowance, it'll be right near the edge of your folded edge that you've got here, just where my nail is. Okay, and we're just going to slowly stitch that down. If you go a little bit wobbly, don't worry, you won't even see this because it is a bandana and it will be tied up. Okay, if you've been a little bit over generous with your seam allowance, it may be a case that you just will have a slightly smaller bandana, but that doesn't matter, it'll still work the same. And then I stop about a 1/4 inch away with my needle in the down position, and then I just spin that around, give it a bit of a turn, and then I will just continue on. And you may need to get your tailor's awl just to give it a little bit of a helping hand, which mine's... Okay, so I've got back to my last corner. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a back stitch. Coming up to that corner, I'm going to pivot again, and with my tailor's awl, I'm just going to come down a couple of stitches and back stitch that as well. Okay. I'm going to take that out of the machine, get rid of our excess threads. Okay, so there you go. We have sewn our bandana. You can see all our edges are sewn down. Our corners are done. We've done a little bit of a back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And that is it. That is our bandana. No raw edges. Quick and easy. Takes about 10 minutes from cutting to sewing to 15 minutes to make one. Make great gifts for people. My daughter's seen this fabric come in and she's like, oh, I like that fabric, and I thought, well, you wear lots of bandanas, so I'll make you one. So she'll be nicely surprised when I give that to her when she gets home today. Alrighty, that's it from me, and I hope you enjoyed this video today.